Welcome, and thank you so much for being here. I am really excited to spend the next few minutes talking about this next chapter of life, how quickly it sneaks up on you, and just how different it feels to be an empty nester, but also what could be inside of this next stage for you. We all know that this stage of life, it's a little bit quieter, it's a little bit slower, but it is just as beautiful as every other one of life's stages. So tonight, I'm going to give you an overview of how this partnership works and also introduce you to three other incredible, inspiring women who are also in midlife and they are an empty nesters themselves so that you can learn a little bit about how this partnership has brought value to their lives and how it's helped their finances as well. Before I do that, I'd like to take a minute and introduce myself. My name's Lisa McGuire. I am a midlifer, fellow empty nester turned full nester again. My husband and I have a blended family. His son and my son are the same age. They're both 23 years old. And it was 5 years ago that our boys went off to college, and suddenly our house was quiet. I will never forget that first week of it just being my husband and me, and how nothing can really prepare you for that adjustment of the messes being gone, the lights not being left on, there were no shoes in the doorway, there were no dishes in the sink, and the food in the fridge actually lasted longer than a day. If you know, you know. So fast forward to now, they are both back home, they are graduated, and they are getting prepared for their next life stages. So for me, it's been almost 20 years working in this fantastic profession, having it grow and having it adapt with each stage of life that I have had. And I am just really grateful that I've had that as an opportunity. But before this, my path looked a lot different. My background was in the space of psychology and counseling, and I went into that field for the reason that most of us do. We wanted to help people. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to support people through so many of their life challenges, mainly through marriage counseling and through behavior work with children. It was extremely important to me to feel like the work that I was doing actually mattered. And it did matter. But there were some aspects of that career path that just was not working for what I needed. My income was capped. I was able to bill for the time that I was actually in front of patients so I could show up for work. But if a client canceled or if a client no-showed, I wasn't paid. So I couldn't really count on the stability. So I knew I needed something different. And because, as you all know, time flies. 1 minute, we're rushing to sports practices and fighting with kids to do homework. We blink and it's a decade later. So the flexibility is exactly what this partnership has provided me over the years. It allowed me to be home when my son was little. It supported me through a decade as a single mom. And now, most recently, it's been a huge support for me in midlife. This business has been a constant income stream through so many of life's changes. The flexibility of the business allowed me to never miss a soccer game. It paid for braces, it paid for tournaments, soccer clubs, first cars, and most recently, it's allowed me to pay for my son's college education so that he could start his adult life. Zero student loan debt. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful. So now I've adapted it to the current stage of life where time and experiences with my husband is my real priority. So if you're anything like me and you started asking, what do I want now? I want to share a few statistics with you. More than 60% of adults over 50 want to continue to earn income. And out of that group, more than 70% prefer flexible or part-time work. And lastly, wait till you hear this. Guess what one of the fastest growing groups of entrepreneurs today are? Yes, ages 45 through 65. You guys, that's all of us. So, what that tells me is that we don't want to stop working. We don't have less ambition. We just want to work differently. And at this stage in our lives, it's about working smarter, it's about leverage. And if you ask me, we've earned it. So, today it's about being able to earn an income while doing what we love most. And for me, that looks like being with my family, traveling to our shore home. I love to cook and I love to work on renovation projects. So, being able to really leverage my time and my income is what led me here. And likely it's what's led you here too. So I hear all of the time, I don't necessarily want to stop working. I just don't want to work the same way anymore. Because we know working doesn't create freedom, leverage does. Learning to leverage your time, learning to leverage your experiences, and getting paid again and again for the value that you already bring. So, at this stage of our lives, longevity is incredibly important to us. We want to continue to live healthy, vibrant lives, and we want to look good and feel good doing it. So, our brand's live age free mission could be a perfect fit. I know for me that I absolutely loved the idea of sharing clean, clinical products that I was already using and already loving with others. And I loved being aligned in the health, wellness, and beauty space with products where there is already a huge demand. So, if you're working, if you have a career, this could be an exceptional add-on for you. Or if you are retired, this can help contribute to your retirement without giving up that flexibility that you really need. So let me ask you a question. How many of you in the last 30 days have shared a link to something that you use or love with a friend? I I think it's safe to say that there's probably a lot of you who have done that. And what I want you to know is that the retail has shifted permanently. We are living in an online world. We shop online so much more now than when we go into stores. And globally, e-commerce is projected to approach $8 trillion in the next few years. So I think it's pretty clear this isn't a trend. This is how business is being done now. So if you're open to earning income today, it just makes sense to align yourself with consumable products in a direct to consumer model with no inventory, no storefronts, where it's simple, streamlined, and scalable. So, whether it's through social media posting, authentic sharing, you can earn with us. As a partner, there will not be guesswork. You'll have access to our incredible resources that have contributed to so many of our successes. We have business tools, we have incredible mentorship, and we have successful systems that are already in place for you to be able to plug right into and get started using. Remember, many of our products are things that people are already buying today, so you're simply redirecting an existing spending habit to our clean and clinical brand. So we also have what we love to say, they're proven viral products. We proudly share clinically proven viral products that people want. We are the global leader in clinical wellness, operating across the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Asia. We are backed by 75 plus global patents, 110 plus clinical studies, over $10 billion in sales, and more than 4 billion paid out in commissions. That's with a B, billion. So here's something that really stood out to me. 25% of our customers have been ordering for 30 years or more. That does not happen by accident. That is trust, that is brand loyalty, and that's what leads to stability. So, our clean and clinical products span the two biggest billion-dollar industries in the world: anti-aging and health and wellness. Some of our main product categories include cellular anti-aging, anti-aging and longevity, foundational nutrition, metabolic and GLP-1 support, along with weight management. These categories alone are expected to exceed $3 trillion globally in this decade. So now I have the honor and the privilege of introducing you to three other empty nesters who are going to share how they've built this partnership into their lives. These women are they were right where you are now, looking for a flexible way to earn that would bring them support, community, and leverage for their efforts.
Hi, my name is Justine Laser, and I'm a former Spanish and French middle school teacher from Collegeville, Pennsylvania. And I'd like to share a little bit of my story with you. So, we're going to rewind back to about 2011. My daughters were in elementary and middle school, and they started doing a very unique activity, dog show conformation. And that activity not only was expensive, but required a lot of travel nationally and internationally. And as a teacher, I found it really difficult to take off extra days so that I could travel with them. And I had always taught my kids to follow their dreams because life is short. And so I came to a crossroads and I had to kind of put my money where my mouth was. And what I decided to do was find an alternative way to make money so that I could retire from teaching and travel the country with them. And that's how I found myself in this space. And not only was I able to pay for all of the dog shows, I was able to be with them every step of the way. As they aged out and they went into college, my son also found himself in another unique and extremely expensive activity. He was a race car driver, and we absolutely needed my income to make his dreams come true. As a matter of fact, one year we even had to rent an apartment in Indiana when he raced with a race team there. But I was able to be with him every single step of the way, and I was able to offset those enormous costs of racing and of a second home. Now, my kids are out of the house and I'm an empty nester. And we decided to sell our family home and downsize into a condo. And this space allowed me to be able to furnish the condo the way I wanted to and to do all the fun things to decorate it that I wanted. And now I'm actually a snowbird. I am spending my winters in Florida and I am loving that I am able to travel as I would like. I'm able to pay for family vacations whenever I want to have my kids come down and visit me. I can pay for that as well. And it has been a real blessing. I think the moral of my story is that I am so happy to have found something that fit into every single phase of my life, whether it was when my kids were little, my kids were teenagers, my kids were in college, or now that I'm an empty nester. This business has been adaptable to every single stage of my life. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't just point out that I'm so thrilled to be part of this particular company that is not only stable, but also has absolutely phenomenal leadership and incredible top of the line products in every single category that anybody could look for. This has been a real blessing to me and to my family, and I am forever grateful to have found it and to have been able to be a part of it through every phase of my life. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Anne Mertland, and I live in Chilliwack, British Columbia, Canada. So I started in this industry like 19 years ago. And at the time, my husband and I were foster parents. And so we were fostering, and we had 10 kids at home. So, and five of those kids had special needs. And it didn't take us long to figure out that unless we brought in some extra income, we were not going to be able to afford any of the extras. As a matter of fact, we had more money going out than coming in. And so I was introduced into this industry and actually really enjoyed it. I started sharing with people and I just had a passion for helping people to feel better, to look better, yeah, to be their best. And I just really enjoyed it. Over the years, it became like such a great part of our lives because I was at home. I never missed any of the important things in my kids' lives. We did all the field trips, we drove for all the things, and we got to be there as our kids were growing up. As the kids got older, this extra income that I brought in helped us pay for our kids' university educations, for weddings, for extras, for all those things that we wanted to be able to help. And then now that we are in our 60s, our priorities have changed and our kids are doing all those things on their own. But now it's giving us an opportunity to have the retirement that we only ever really dreamed about having, the ability to create an income, um, there's a lot of seniors to find a job where you can make what possible in this industry. And so for me, it made so much sense to be able to do this. And then what I love, like seriously love and so passionate about is the ability to help people. I guess I'm a helper. I'm a giver, I'm a helper, and I love it. I love watching the people on my team succeed. I love them, or I love watching them help their kids through university, do all the things that I've been able to do with my kids through the years and watch them doing the same, or people of my age who are just coming into this industry and realizing that they can have a different retirement than they thought they were going to have, that they can afford to have those extras. And so it's kind of a lot of things for me, a combination of amazing products that I love, that I use, that I'm changing my health. And my dream and my goal is to be like in my 90s, living independently, healthy and strong. And that's what I want to help other people do. And so I'm doing that with phenomenal products and an amazing business opportunity. So thanks for being here.
Hi, my name is Jody Pintack. I'm coming to you from Dallas, Texas, where I am an accountant by education. I am a wife of 36 years to my best friend Bill, who makes me laugh daily. And we have two children, Marshall and Anna, who have grown and flown. But our best title is JoJo and Pops to our sweet grandbaby that is 7 months old. I am not a stranger to this industry. I have a long time connection with this profession, and it started back when I was in college. And I was able to use this business opportunity as a way to cushion, when Bill and I first got married, to cushion our finances. And fast forward, I got my college degree. I worked in accounting and finance for 6 years, and then I became mom, and I wanted desperately to stay at home. And so we had planned for that, and I got to stay at home. 13 years into being full-time mom to two children, fourth and seventh grade, I started thinking ahead, thinking, wow, we're good planners. We're good stewards of our finances. We have an emergency fund, we have a savings, and we also have retirement savings. But you know what? Life happens. And I thought, wow, things are really getting expensive around here. We've been living in our house for 20 years. We moved here when the kids were in kinder and third grade. So it's not like we kept getting bigger houses or bigger cars. We don't have credit card debt. We live within our means, but life is expensive. So I got a job outside the home working at the local middle school. And it was during that time, during those 5 years, I recognized the fact that I missed being at home. I missed the freedom, and I missed being able to be available to my parents who are aging, and even my in-laws. My mother-in-law had Alzheimer's, and I knew that my father-in-law needed some help. And I saw a friend of mine posting about this business opportunity, and I thought, and it was another one, it was a different company, but a business opportunity much like this. And I dove in with both feet. I mean, head to toe, I decided I'm not going to work this as a hobby. I'm going to work it as a business. And through the seasons, through job loss, through trade school for Marshall, through college for Anna, I have been able to help provide the apartment rent, the utilities, the gas, the food for both of the kids. And then when Bill lost his job, his company just shut their doors. This was able to cushion. And then it also helped fund Anna's dream wedding. 3.5 years ago, I was able to hand her a check for $25,000 and say, here, this is towards your wedding. And we also had a parent loan that we took out during that time. And we just last month, I was able to pay that $17,000 off. I had been paying on it over the last couple of years, and it was such a relief to be able to do that. So I tell you all of that because you might be sitting here thinking, well, gosh, Jody, you've been doing this for a while. Yes, I have, but it doesn't mean you can't do this. And so if you're in a time of your life where you don't feel like you have purpose, or better yet, you have weddings coming up and you've got college expenses on the horizon, or maybe college loans that you need to pay off, this could be the best yes that you say yes to. And I just want you to know that right now in the season I am being a JoJo, I'm able to just leave and go and visit my grandbaby. I'm able to buy the Johnny jump up or pay for a meal here and there, all because of the best yes. And it was to this business.
Wow, their stories are so compelling. Thank you to Anne, Jody, and Justine for sharing your stories, for sharing your unique experiences with your partnerships. And you all are proof that this model can fit beautifully into any lifestyle. Okay, let's talk about how you can earn. By simply sharing access to our products, partners here can earn 30% weekly on new customers. You can earn up to 40% monthly on recurring revenue. So oftentimes you make a sale once. And because customers stay on product and they reorder each month, you are paid over and over for one sale. So you can see how very quickly that can become quite lucrative over time. Even a small, loyal customer base can create meaningful monthly income. And over time, that can become a cash flowing asset that's going to support your lifestyle and support your financial goals. Our business model also offers compounding business revenue. As you can see on this slide, there's a substantial, meaningful income to be earned in a model such as this. So I want to pause here for a moment. I want you to take a look at the last column of potential monthly earnings. These are the average 2025 earnings for each category. People on this very call are doing exactly this. If this is a path that you'd like to take, we can show you how to make this happen also. So, what's next? I really hope that you could see yourself somewhere in what we talked about tonight. Whether you're just ready for a change, whether you're looking for something new, whether it's creating additional income in a fun, rewarding way, or maybe it's just a new purpose in midlife. This conversation did not find you by accident. Timing matters. And midlife, as you know, it's not about slowing down, it's about being intentional about what you want most. So, if any part of this resonated with you, let's continue the conversation. Get back to the person who invited you to join us tonight. We are now going to open up some individual calls where you get the chance to explore how this can fit into your lifestyle with your goals and your vision. Thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to your potential partnership.